Political commentator Mick Napier is joining us now from Edinburgh to tell us more about Turkey's operations in northeastern Syria. Mr. Napier, what are your thoughts on how events have transpired in the north of Syria?
Well, the Kurds have lost well over 10,000 people. They've paid a lot in blood and suffering in order to confront ISIS. It's unchallenged in the West that in that area they have been the main force in containing and defeating ISIS. They have done the street-to-street fighting. It's they who have suffered the casualties. The Americans have supposedly allied with them, have used them against ISIS, and now Donald Trump, as far as we know, and you can never tell about Trump from one sentence to the next, but it seems as if they have been left to confront vastly superior NATO forces in the Turkish army without any support. So it's a very uneven struggle that's now unfolding in that part of Syria, and it's an act of betrayal by the USA, of course supported by the UK, and it fits into a long-term pattern of the Kurdish struggles for independence, for freedom, for autonomy, being picked up by the West and used and then cast aside. And you know, the language is very similar to that being used by the Israelis against the Palestinians. Terrorism, terrorism, terrorism. But virtually nobody believes it. The enemy has been ISIS. So it's a very difficult public opinion for Trump and others to manage in the West, when it's very clear that the ultra-terrorists have been ISIS. The attempt by Turkey to pin the label on the Kurds is bound to fail. So I think we're headed for a profound crisis in the whole region. It will cause immensely more suffering, and really the Turks are trying to crush the Syrian Kurds because they have been unable to crush the Kurds inside Turkey, and their choice has always been and will continue to be either talk, either negotiate, either concede Kurdish national rights or try to crush them. And now I think the Turkish army has extended its operations, and who knows how this will end. It could end in disaster for the Turks, but it certainly will be a disaster for the people of Syria, not just the Kurds but the other nationalities which are spread around that whole region. So it's a disaster, and those of us in the West who support who look at what's the whole history of what's happened in the Middle East, want the withdrawal of all Western, all European forces from Syria and from the Middle East. Because if you look at their history, the Western powers have always used and manipulated differences among peoples of the region to their own advantage, and ultimately for the increased suffering of the people of the entire region.
Mr. Napier, let's talk about the international reactions to this offensive. Many observers are saying that the condemnation, specifically coming from the likes of Europe, are nothing but empty platitudes, which will change nothing on the ground.
Well, of course. I mean, what is significant is that there's a huge difference of opinion inside Washington. Whereas Washington has been in the past being very, unanimous, and although that unanimity is breaking down, they have always been very unified in supporting what Israel does against the Palestinians. On this issue, there seems to be real chaos. Trump has responded to a mood inside the USA for American troops not to continue to get involved in foreign wars, but other elements are saying that by opening up the door to the Turks, ISIS has an opportunity to regroup and to possibly, in a worst-case scenario, repeat in Syria what they managed to achieve in Iraq several years ago, i.e. a huge explosion onto the scene and huge suffering for the people of the region. So I don't think, against a background of USA reducing power in the region, I don't think against that background the USA knows what to do. French and Germans are worried. They fear chaos. They fear another wave of possibly millions of refugees from the region. So there seems to be a lack of clarity in the Western powers on how to deal with this, because they supported the Kurds in order to contain ISIS. But look, let's remember, the West in the past has only deepened the suffering of the people of the region. The West completely supported Saddam Hussein in order to attack Iran over many years, and much blood and silver was spilled. Having supported Saddam Hussein against Iran, they then turned upon the Iraqi government and unleashed, well, created a situation out of which ISIS later emerged. So the West has a record of working in a very cynical way to choose partners for a particular period of time, then to drop them, and then to stand back and observe the chaos which then ensues. So I think if there's any lesson that the long view of history gives us about the Middle East, it is that any struggle by the peoples of the region to achieve control over their own resources, oil and everything else, it's a disaster to rely upon European or Western powers in order to achieve that. It might lead to some temporary amelioration of the condition of the Kurds, but ultimately it can only lead to a much greater chaos in the future.
لقد انتصرنا عبر التاريخ على كل الحاقدين، وها نحن اليوم نرسم سويا بسواعد الشرفاء وببسالة جنودنا خطوط النصر الآتي لا محالة بإذن الله. ما قدمه بواسل الجيش العربي السوري والقوات المسلحة ومعها القوات الرديفة والحليفة من بطولات وتضحيات خلال السنوات الماضية للحرب يمثل نموذجا في تاريخ الحروب عبر التاريخ.
The Turkish operation against the SDF Kurds in northern Syria has begun. According to the Turkish president, the offensive has targeted Kurdish militants and the Daesh terrorist group. Is this the real goal of Turkey? And did it receive the U.S. blessing to carve this section out, which simultaneously serves U.S. interests? And what will happen to all of the civilians in this area? Well, in this edition of the debate, we will look at Turkey's big gamble and incursion into Syria and how this will affect the war on Syria as a whole, which was winding down. First, to get an update on what's happening on the ground and the latest developments, our correspondent Mohammed Ali joins us from Damascus. Mohammed, at this point, there are reports of some civilian casualties. If you can give us quickly a summary of what has occurred so far.
Yes, the Coordination and Military Operations Center of the Syrian Democratic Forces has reported clashes on the ground in Derbaskia city. This as Turkey continues to attack various towns and villages on the borderline with Syria using fighter jets and artillery, such as Derbaskia city, Qamishli, Tel Ain, Tel Abyad, Malikiya, and Jarablus. Now, even the U.S. observation point in Tel Abyad, which the American left yesterday, was attacked. Syrian state media also reported that there are reports that Turkey started a ground offensive to enter Tel Abyad. Now, yes, civilians have been reported killed or injured by the SDF as a result of this strike. Also, head of the SDF media center, Mustafa Bali, said will clash with the Turks and will not allow them to cross. But definitely there's a mismatch between the Turkish army and the SDF in general. Now, the Turkish Military Operations started just 5 hours ago, and so far thousands have become displaced, escaping their homes. The Syrian Foreign Ministry said just before the attack started that Syria strongly condemns the statements and aggressive intentions of the Turkish regime, as well as its military encroachment on Syria's borders, which constitutes a flagrant violation of international law. Also, the Foreign Minister said that the Turkish claims about border security are false, and that Syria reiterates willingness and determination to confront the Turkish aggression in all legitimate means.
Thank you for that. Correspondent Mohammed Ali there talking to us from Damascus. Okay, our guest joining us for this edition of the debate, we have Brett Yonkers, who's a journalist for Al Masdar News, who joins us from Brussels. And we have Hatem Yavuz, political observer based out of Istanbul, who joins us from Zambia. I'd like to welcome you both, and let me first start with you, Brett Yonkers, if I can. You're looking at an operation that is now a number of hours into it, this operation by the name of Operation Peace Spring. Turkey has said it's against the PKK, YPG, and Daesh terrorists in northern Syria, and they are convinced that they needed to exercise their right to defend Turkish territory by conducting this incursion. Do you think their right is justified? Brett Yonkers.
Well, in a situation such as this, and this attack basically, in my opinion, this is two of the aggressors, two of the villains, so to say, of the current conflict that has been plaguing Syria since 2011, attacking one another. You know, and at its inception, the YPG, the Kurdish militias, and the so-called Syrian Democratic Forces may have seemed somewhat acceptable in their fight against Daesh and against Al-Qaeda affiliates in the region. But ever since, it has become very clear to observers, basically, and to everyone who pays attention, that these Kurdish-dominated militias have become little more than satellites and then pawns of U.S.-dominated imperialist policies in the region. Whereas at the same time, of course, when you look at the Turks, Turkey has basically almost since the very beginning of the Syrian civil war been one of the major backers of the so-called Free Syrian Army, which recently, actually now a few days ago, has increased in size. They have sort of regrouped under what is informally called the Turkish-backed Free Syrian Army, in order to bring down both the Kurdish militias, but of course this Free Syrian Army group is also opposed to the Syrian Arab Republic and the legitimate government of Syria itself. So when you have these two attackers, these two occupiers in a way, fighting one another, I don't really see a good side or a bad side per se in it. I usually try to look at the entire conflict from the perspective of how it may benefit or harm Syria and the Syrian Arab Republic in general. Now, as to whether or not Turkey is justified in fearing the SDF and fearing the YPG, I do believe that they have somewhat of a point there, because I don't think it's far-fetched to believe that the YPG has intimate contact with the PKK and with Kurdish secessionists, Kurdish rebels within Turkey. So from a purely, let's say, strategic perspective, I understand where Turkey is coming from, but I believe there would have been a much better way of solving this for Turkey, and that is to completely respect the territorial integrity of Syria and to cooperate with Damascus and with Russia and with Iran, with all these nations that have a vested interest in preventing U.S.-backed Kurdish secessionists from taking over power in the north of Syria.
Well, Hatem Yavuz, does our guest have a point there? We're looking at, first of all, what Erdogan has said. Hatem Yavuz, our mission is to prevent the creation of a terror corridor, as he called it, across our southern border, and to bring peace to the area.
I do apologize that our counterpart is continually saying that there's a tug of war here, right? And saying that the YPG is an innocent structure supported by the PKK that's been hurting 40 to 50,000 Turks is it's a wrong way of discussing the matter. Number two, the YPG and the PYG, whatever you want to call them, in their structure, they're being funneled by 30,000 trucks of armory in the last 1.5 to 2 years. what is this armory going to go to? To Daesh, to the ISIL Levant, and whereby there's nothing left there. I said this in my previous discussion on TV, that these armory that's been pumped into the YPG by the United States, unfortunately, by the ally of Turkey and NATO, is directed to Turkey. Period. End of story. There's no discussions about this. They're not directed to Iran or to some other foreign factor. It's directed to Turkey. Now, when I listen to these comments, and from a very far country here, when I'm following what the situation going on now, in Africa, that is, I see that our counterpart is constantly saying that it's an innocent factor of the YPG. The YPG is a proxy war of the US that wants to make war with the Republic of Turkey, a NATO ally, period. And towards Russia, because they control the mass of Syria.
Why does the U.S. want to have the YPG have a war? Well, you said the YPG is stocked militarily by the U.S. because the U.S. wants to have a war with Turkey. Why does the U.S. have so much animosity towards Turkey?
Because Turkey has, in the last 2 years, after the failed coup attempt, has realized that their allies have become some sort of internal foes. Let's get this. Let's be real about the structure. We have been attacked because of our geopolitical situation. If Turkey was in Alaska, nobody would care about Turkey, period. But we are in this Anatolian region. It's important, whether it's energy, whether it's business, whether it's religion, whether it's geopolitical, whatever you want to say. Turkey is the bridge. And Erdogan, an example of a leader, of today's leader, wants to create this bridge firm. However, people from the West, whereby the Middle Eastern parts have no say, much say in this, don't want to share Turkey at the moment. The problem is not the YPG. The problem is Turkey.
Okay, got it. Let's see here. Brett Yonkers, let's look at some of the other actors, in particular Russia. Russia has come out just a couple hours back saying that we're not going to be involved in this operation. Now, what is very interesting about this is the fact that the Kurds have said we're going to open talks with the government in Damascus, and de facto Russia would be part of that. Please explain to us the role that Russia is playing here, because I'm guessing that Russia wants Turkey to break away from the U.S.
No.
Yeah, indeed. I have made.
Brett Yonkers here. Go ahead, Brett Yonkers.
Sorry. Yeah, I have made this analysis before in my mind, and I've written a little bit about it. Indeed, that what I believe in a way is going on is that while the Turkish attack on Syrian soil, because it's still of course Syrian territory, technically it's a violation of course of Syria's sovereignty, and that's of course why Damascus has been denouncing and condemning this. But I think the reason, maybe behind the scenes there have been some sort of a, maybe not an outright permission to Turkey to conduct this operation, but I think Russia, as well as Iran and maybe even Syria itself, are hoping that by conducting this operation, because Turkey is planning to build what they call this corridor in order to protect the Turkish border. So they don't mean, at least I don't think they mean to take over all of northeastern Syria, but they will be sufficiently weakening the Kurdish militias in such a way. And I think what Russia is hoping is that the YPG and the SDF in general are weakened to such an extent that they will finally, open up discussions with the Damascus, finally see that they should not, that there is no future for them to be a proxy state under U.S. control anymore, and that they will try to open negotiations. Sorry, with Damascus. I think Russia is hoping. Excuse me, Russia is hoping that this way Damascus, that the Syrian Arab Republic, can finally retake control over the entirety of its legitimate territory. I think that might be, whether or not it was going to happen is a different story, but I think Russia, Iran and Syria might be hoping that this comes to pass in the end.
Hatami, go ahead.
No. The fact is here is very clear. The American project has failed. Okay, the Russians, I'll say Russians, unfortunately, because it should be Syrians. The Russians have given a lot of support to Turkey to say, basically, listen, do you want chaos for the next 20 years, or do you want to have peace now? That's it. And with regards to the Syrians, yes, it's their territorial integrity. It's their property. Turkey has 4 million Syrians. Where do they go? Under duress, under suspicion. They have to go back to the lands. Turkey doesn't want 4 million Syrians to look after. Nobody wants. Any country doesn't want. It's not just Turkey. Turkey has done enough for the last 6-7 years. However, but some parts of it, like if it's 4 million, maybe 2 million could go to this buffer zone and create this harmony of multinational, multicultural integration, rather than having political and racial integration. Because when you look at the northern Syrian border, it's not made up of Kurds. Who told you that's made up of Kurds? It's made up of Arabs, Turkomans, and Kurds. Yes, it's made up. This is a natural wave. How can you justify that a Kurd is going to take over an Arab land that's been there for 2,000 years and then kicked out like the Palestinians? It's not going to happen. People are going to fight for it.
Yeah,
Terrorism
I'm
is
not
going to
justifying
happen.
that, just to be clear.
To avoid future terrorism, Turkey put a buffer zone and said, that's it.
Okay.
Move in, and we will do the rest.
Okay, Brett Yonkers, the counter-argument to this is, why doesn't Turkey just talk to the Syrian government and try to work this out, try to come up with an agreement? They tried it with the U.S. It didn't work out.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I totally agree with you. Turkish government is talking to the Syrian government off the record, but on the record, they are not talking, which is, it's a strain. It's like, you know, two friends are now enemies, and now we're going to be friends again, and now we're going to have conditions. It's difficult.
Okay.
So we have to fix it. Turks have paid a price. Turks have paid a heavy price on the refugee situation, which is Turkey's problem. Don't get me wrong. It's not every problem.
Brett Yonkers, go ahead. I think you have a reaction there.
Yeah, indeed. That's why I say I hope that there is some sort of discussion. Of course, I believe there might be an off-the-record sort of idea, sort of negotiation going on, and indeed, if indeed Turkey, you know, keeps to only the corridor, I assume that I hope, of course, that in the future Turkey and Syria will come to an agreement in which the Turks will eventually withdraw, provided that it is the land is returned to Syria and not, of course, to the Kurdish militias. That's why I'm saying that in my hope, I definitely do not agree with the Kurdish militias of the SDF or the so-called Rojava, what they call a state or government, and I hope that both the Americans, and that's why I'm very hopeful about the possible hopeful American withdrawal from Syria, and I hope that in the end the entirety of Syria will be returned to the Syrian Arab Republic, and that means that indeed the so-called the Syrian Democratic Forces and the YPG will have to put down their arms and negotiate if they want a federal structure for the Kurdish majority regions of Syria. That is perfectly negotiable. But indeed, what has been said, and which I agree with, we have to bear in mind that the so-called Rojava Kurdish state that they have built there has been stretching out far beyond the borders of what is ethnically Kurdish. For example, the YPG has attacked the Syrian Arab army at several occasions in order to take over Hasaka, which is a city in which there are many Armenians and Assyrians and Arabs living. They have committed numerous atrocities against non-Kurdish populations, basically establishing their own, ethnocentric government with their own discrimination. So, of course, I disagree with the project that is called Rojava. At the same time, I still have a certain level of distrust for Turkey, considering the fact that they still march alongside the so-called Free Syrian Army, which I consider to also be a terrorist organization that has proven itself to be an enemy of the Syrian Arab Republic.
Go ahead. Hatem Yavuz, go ahead.
Put on the table your options. My counterpart. Put on the table your options. The Turks are your neighbor. The Turks bear the brunt. It's not Americans or the Europeans bearing the brunt of all this mess. It's the Turks, whether they like it or not. So the Turks have a better, let's say it in your language, the better of the worst. Which one's better on the table? The Turks bringing a stability, like in Afrin, brings in the state system that can work to help sustain stability in the region. Have the Americans done this in the last 7 years? No. It's only the Turks, not the Jordanians, not the Lebanese, not the Syrian government itself, which is in dire situation, I understand. But it's the Turks has gone in and set up a system. It's all about a system. It's not about, I want to take over this country. The Turks have said it publicly with the Russians, with the Syrians. Keep your territory. Just keep your peace outside my border.
Okay, very well. We want to get a little further down, Brett Yonkers, of this operation, and of course it's speculation, but do you think that Turkey is after just this incursion for this area to slice whatever you want to call this, a safety zone, a buffer zone, or what have you? Or do you think that the Turks may have ulterior motives, such as still wanting to create instability in Syria to ultimately want what was once their stated goal, and that was the removal of Assad?
What I believe is, that's one thing I wanted to remark on the fact. We have to bear in mind that you can say that there is a certain sort of legitimacy to the Turkish claim that, of course, they want to ensure stability by removing the Kurdish forces that are illegitimately, with the U.S. support taking over parts of Syria, which I can, in a way, I can understand. But we have to bear in mind that Turkey has been supporting the Free Syrian Army already before this entire Rojava project really got off the ground. So that makes me always a little bit suspicious of what is going to happen. Now, as to what's going on now, if you're looking at what is happening right now, indeed, there is that threat of a US-supported Kurdish secessionist state in northern Syria. So I do have moderately positive expectations that Turkey indeed, at this moment, wants to have built that corridor for its own protection. But I do hope, indeed, that they will. Of course, it's a wait-and-see situation. As you said, it's speculation. We have to wait and see if Turkey indeed wants to, withdraw again beyond its own borders. If, for example, the Syrian Democratic Forces, the YPG, reaches an agreement with Damascus, which will see them disarm, break off connections with the PKK, and completely submit to the Syrian Arab Republic. If that were to happen, which I hope will happen, then I hope that the Turks will indeed immediately withdraw back to their border and cease their support for any sort of Syrian rebel forces and re-establish contacts, re-establish diplomatical ties with the government of the Syrian Arab Republic led by the democratically elected President Bashar al-Assad.
30 seconds to you, Hatem Yavuz. Will Turkey do that? 30 seconds.
Turkey will do that. Give it, I'm saying, from stage 1 to stage 10. I'm saying 1 to 10. It will be a process. It will happen.
And I think we lost them. And with that, we come to an end for this edition of The Debate. That was Hatem Yavuz, political observer based out of Istanbul, who was talking to us from Zambia.
No, region is Russia.
Sorry,
and,
we're just
and
out of
Syria.
time. Hatem Yavuz, I do apologize. Fred Yonkers, thank you. Journalist for Al-Masdar News, spoke to us from Brussels. And that is for this edition of The Debate. Do join us next time. I'm Kaveh Tafri.
Alright, Shalom. First off, we want to give all praises to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone, and Shalom to the Akim out there preaching his word, truth, and sincerity. Alright, so we just out here another week prophesying the downfall of America and destruction of 2/3 of our people. Alright, and the salvation of 1/3 of our people, the elect, which is you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Alright, so we're just going to jump straight into it. Alright, you get that scripture?
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord.
Yeah, and that's what we come out here to do, and that's what we do throughout the week, alright? We always speak in the words of prophecy, which are the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Alright? The words written in here are the words of prophecy. And that's what we're supposed to be bringing out, because we are living in the last days, and that's a well-known fact, alright? Even a regular bug out on the street can tell you that we're in the last days. Alright, anybody who has some type of sense will know that from the things that are going on and taking place all across the world. That's a plain thing to see, that we have to be at the end with the things that are going on now.
It says verse 2, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true.
Yeah, and that paper that is written in is talking about the scriptures, alright? And we know that the words written in here are faithful and true, because what other book out here can go into everything that's taking place now, alright? This is the only book that can break down everything that's been going on, and it actually goes into history and links up with history. You can't disprove the scriptures. Every other so-called philosophy out there, you can't relate it to the things that's going on in the world now. This is the only book that does that. All right.
It says, verse 3, fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee.
Yeah, fear not the fear. What?
Fear. It says, 2nd Ezra 15:3. Fear not the imaginations against thee.
Yeah, fear not the imaginations against you, man. Because everybody, they imagine vain things against us, man. They talk against what we believe in. They say that this ain't the truth. You don't got it. Y'all bugged out, believing that there's a so-called black man that's coming back to save you. All right, believing in that you're God's chosen people. Everybody will say everything against this just to make us feel bad about it. But then what else is there to really to come against this, man? All right, you expect us to believe everything that the so-called white man says? That Earth been here for billions of years? That it's that there's actually more than 100 different genders? All this bugged out madness that he pushes on the people, it's cool to believe that. But when it comes to the scriptures that is actually sound, that's the only thing that's not cool to believe in.
Or believe when Esau's interpretation of the scriptures. Yeah. You know, that's widely accepted in the world. That Jesus, the name is Jesus, which he's a demon. He's a so-called white man.
Yep.
God is white. The angels are white. He's coming back to say he accepts everybody. So that whole Christianity, or how the Bible is taught by the so-called white man. That's okay to believe. We'll get donated. We was saying what the Christian church was saying. God loves. Look at Moabites and Ammonites and those niggas saying God loves you. They'll be giving us money, man. Fucking Edomites, they'll give us money, but they ain't doing that. They like the scripture say, they imagine they have imagination against us. You know.
That's right. This is back in 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 3. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee.
Yeah, so don't let none of those things trouble you, man, because that's exactly what they want to happen. All right, Esau, he wants that to happen, and everybody else. That's why they speak against us, because they want us to lose the faith that we have in the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Because like the brother was going into, if we was speaking the same little BS that these Christian churches talk, nobody would have an issue. But just because we're actually coming in the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, now everybody has something to say. Now everybody want to say that this is hate speech. But then when Esau actually talks hate speech, who's saying shit about that? If it was a racist Edomite out here talking, how many niggas gonna roll up to him and say so? Or how many Edomites gonna roll up to him and say so?
Yeah, let this be a KKK rally or some shit, man. Esau be up here in the Ku Klux Klan uniform, all right, with his Confederate flag, all right. Pictures of niggas being hung. You niggas ain't gonna do shit about it, man. You just gonna, man, this is hateful, and just walk down the street like a bitch ass nigga. But here it is. We're actually going into the scriptures, all right. We have pictures backing up. You know, Jake's a visual person, and then nigga would still have something to say negative about the words of the Lord, man, about the prophets of the Lord. You know.
I got a quick preset. This is Galatians 4:16. Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth?
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. At the end of the day, you are the enemy because you speak the truth. All right, it's like the saying goes, the truth hurts, and that's really why everybody they hate us, because we're speaking the truth. All right, and then like the apostles are going into getting on that dude vocab. All right, saying that we're not giving good tidings. This is actually it's good news for us, but it's bad news for everybody else. All right, it's a good thing for us knowing that Babylon is about to be destroyed. Everybody out here finna catch hell. This society is going to crash, collapse. All right, but everything that we're saying, it comes off bad to these people because it's really, at the end of the day, it's not for them.
I got a preset. Yeah. To back that up, this is John 15 and 17. These things I command you that ye love one another. If the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you.
Yeah, and for lack of, for everybody to understand, Jesus, so-called, all right, when he was here, they tried to push in the Christian churches that he was all about love, this and that. But why didn't the world hate him? If he was all about love and he was over here forgiving and trying to be peaceful with everybody and all that, it's open repentance for everyone. Why did everybody hate him then? The scriptures say that the world hated him, so we're going to be hated just like Yahweh Shai was hated, man, because that's his real name. It's not Jesus. All right. So just like Yahweh Shai was hated back then, we're going to be hated because we're coming in the same spirit as Yahweh Shai.
Yep. It says, if ye were of the world would love his own.
Yeah, if we was of the world, all right, if we was speaking the same stuff that vocab speaking, that these Christian churches be speaking, all right, if we was saying the same stuff like that everybody, it's open repentance for everyone. If you a heathen, you could be an Edomite, you could be a Moabite, you could be Elam, whatever nation they have repentance and be an Israelite or have salvation, all right, everybody would be all for it. But since we not coming in that spirit, all right, everybody hates us.
This is Luke 12 and 51. It says, suppose ye that I come to give peace on earth? I tell you nay, but rather division.
It's not, the Lord ain't coming back for peace, man, and that's the main thing that everybody thinks. When he comes back, that's going to be a good thing. When really, the Lord's coming back to bring judgment, man. All right, he's not coming back for that.
So if you were of the world would love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you.
Yeah, the world hates us because we was chosen out of the world, man. All right, we're on a separate path from the world, just like it goes into in Matthew, the 7th chapter. All right, the broad is the way that leads to destruction, and narrow is the straight gate, basically, the path of difficulty. We're going against the path that everybody else is headed on, man. All right, so just because we're not part of this world, we're hated of this world. This world is given in the Satan. So just knowing that alone in itself, you should expect to receive hatred from this world, because everybody in this world, they're all for Satanism. They're all about Satan. That's the vibration being pushed here, and we're not in that vibration. We're in the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, which is completely contrary to that, man.
I believe that word there for world is cosmos.
Yeah.
And that's who gives us the most hell. 2/3 of our own people.
Straight up.
Esau, he'll come up and he'll deal. He's read the scriptures. He gonna come with some left hand shit, but he'll deal.
Yeah.
Jake is just a demon.
Yep.
Judah on down to Issachar, man. Chiefly you niggas, man.
Yeah.
Just coming back in your lap, man. Because you always had hatred towards the truth. You've always came against the prophets.
Yep, and the elder brother Wamba out there in Texas, he was going into that in one of his videos. He was saying how they be out there on the streets, when they be speaking, the cops had talked to them before, and they said the main people that complain is your people.
Yep.
Basically, you niggas.
Yeah.
Y'all be the main ones having the issue. You would think that it'll be Esau, it'll be Gooks, Moab, or these other heathens. No, it's mainly you niggas, man. Y'all be the main ones actually trying to fucking go snitch and get us in trouble.
Yep.
You want Esau to roll up on us and put us to death.
Well, who killed the prophets?
Yep.
Niggas killed the prophets. Who ultimately gave up Yahweh Shai? Niggas, man.
Yes, sir.
They gave up the Lord. So you gonna have the most issues with your people. You know, where the scripture said that your foes shall be those of your household. So that's really who you got beef with. Esau, the other nations, they look at things. They just accept their judgment. A lot of times they don't believe in it.
Exactly. They'll laugh about it.
You know, they'll laugh about it. Might look into it a little bit, but it's not really a big deal to them. It's really what hit home is Israelites, because you're going to be judged. You're going to receive judgment, and you have a connection with the Most High. Right now, that connection is blocked because you hard-headed and stubborn, and the Most High jacks your ass up. And niggas think they know it all, man. That's one thing I found out. Niggas think they know something, but they don't know anything, you know?
Sorry. Got a precept?
Amos 5 and 10 says, they hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly.
And that's mainly our people that hate us, like we were speaking on, man. Because these heathen nations, they don't like what the brother was just saying. Esau doesn't have a problem with us out here talking, because we're not actually out here doing shit to nobody. We're just talking. So he'll hear what we have to say. He'll actually agree. Be like, yeah, that's right. We do deserve to go into slavery for what we did. What we did was wrong. But then when a nigga come up here, it's a problem. We can actually say how you could acknowledge that we went into slavery. Our people caught nothing but hell. Even to this day, we still catching hell. Yet the so-called white man ain't the devil still. And you got a problem with us for saying that he is. That's the hypocrisy you deal with when it comes to the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. All right, and like I said earlier, it could be a racist Edomite out here talking, and the same niggas that come up against us, they don't have shit to say when it's a KKK member or anybody else that's talking shit about you niggas, man. All right, you only hate your own people. And that's why the Lord, he gonna fuck you niggas up, man.
That's right.
All right, you always want to come against your own kind, or your own people. We're telling you, this is actually a good thing for you. It should be a good thing for what? It's a bad thing for you because you niggas are demons, man.
That's why
you want to stay here.
Yeah, that's why King David, he put a curse on you, Jakes. He said, let that which would have been for their welfare, let it be a snare and a trap unto them. This is good for you. We talking about the benefits of our nation, man. Of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and where you really come from, all right? And what's about to come to pass, the Lord is about to put us back on top forever, man. Yeah, a nigga want to stay the bottom feeding ass nigga that he is, man.
A nigga don't want responsibility, man. You want to keep being a nigga. Niggas like being told what to do. You like being a lazy nigga, smoking your blunts, and dealing with dirty bitches, man. That's what you like.
And Esau allows you to be irresponsible, lazy nigga in America. You can do that. That's a profession. You can be a block boy, or you just be at home. You know, you can just eat Captain Crunch all goddamn day and be lazy, you know.
Esau paid for it, welfare.
There you go. He'll actually give you money for being a lazy end.
Good.
You know.
I got something for Jake. It's Ezekiel 3 and 4, and he said unto me, Son of man, go and get thee unto the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them, for thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech and of a hard language, but to the house of Israel.
That's what we were sent for, the house of Israel. All right, we're out here for our people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. But where do you see them at? Do you see anybody stopping to listen? No. All right, what do they want to listen to? You want to listen to your trap music. You want to listen to what the so-called white man got to say. You want to listen to other bugged out philosophies. You want to listen to everything else that doesn't pertain to you, all right, except for what actually does, which is the scriptures.
It says, verse 6, not to many people of a strange speech and of a hard language whose words thou canst not understand.
Yeah, so we're not sitting out here to these heathens, all right? We ain't speaking in Chinese. We're not speaking in no other language for a heathen nation, all right? We out here for our people, man. And where are they at? Nowhere to be found, all right? And that's exactly where you're going to be. Nowhere to be found right along with America when it get destroyed, all right? Because this is where you want to stay at. Because like we was just saying, niggas don't like responsibility. We out here for you. All right, this word is for you. This truth is for you. All right, the higher power that we serve, he's for you. But what do you want to do? You want to serve a power that's not for you. You want to chase after Esau, the person that he doesn't even like your ass, man. He hates you. And this is the guy that you would worship and want to be like. A dude who actually hates you and does everything in his power to destroy you.
It says, surely had I sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto thee.
Yeah, so if we was telling, like vocab, if we say that it's open for you, it's open for any Edomite, any Moabite, any Goop, Elam, anybody else, they'll gladly come up here
They'll be
and
lined
be
up.
all for it.
It'll be a slew of heathens over here.
They'll
man.
be, Esau actually will be huddled up listening.
Yeah.
He does listen from time to time, even though he agrees that he's going to be judged. Yet if we told him like, hey, you can come in on this side, man, Esau have a big ass
Curse out
smile on his
niggas.
face. He'll be cursing niggas out. He'll go harder than you niggas would.
Gonna have some nigga slaves.
Yeah. But then when it comes to our people, they all, you niggas is lazy, man. You don't want to do nothing. All right, you don't want to come out here. You don't want to catch no hell, basically. That's what that is. You don't want to bear your burden, man. Bear that burden, bearing the cross on your back, man.
I got a quick precept. Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 4. And he said unto me, Son of man, go get thee unto the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them. Oh, that's what you was reading?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
For thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech and of a hard language, but to the house of Israel. Not to many people of a strange speech and of a hard language, whose words thou canst not understand.
Yeah, like I was saying, we're not sent to these other heathen nations, man. We're out here for our people, and we're speaking plainly and clearly to our people. Yet they just can't receive it. All right, it's not meant for them to get it ultimately. All right, because like I was saying, if we was over here telling these heathen nations that this is actually for them, vocab wouldn't have an issue with us.
They'll repent.
Yeah, they'll repent.
They'll get right, bro. They'll start breaking the law. They'll start praising the Most High.
Yeah.
They'll repent. You know, they'll try to do the best they can.
Bro. Exactly.
But a Negro, he gonna just totally rebel. And that's the reason why you're in the situation that you're in now, because you rebelled against the Heavenly Father. You know. You can read about it's throughout the scriptures.
Yeah.
That's the story of Jacob.
That's the story.
It says, not to many people of a strange speech and of a hard language, whose words thou canst not understand. Surely have I sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto thee.
There you go, like the brother just said. If it was any other nation that we were sent to, they would be right here. They'll be here right now listening.
All around the world, right now.
They'll be having literally have their book open, following along, reading. All right, they'll be ready. Like, man, when can I join? They'll be out here on the dot every week. All right,
punctual.
Doing like the apostle said, do 3 videos a week. They'll be doing 20 videos, like going far and beyond the Call of Duty. All right, just to show that they really with it. But when it comes to Jake doing that, what are they doing? They ain't doing shit, man. All right, you don't want to do nothing.
Oh no. No. Thank you. Thank you.
But the house of Israel would not hearken unto thee, for they would not. They would not hearken unto me, for all the house of Israel are impotent and hard-hearted.
Yeah, they're impudent and hard-hearted, man. All right, and that's a typical Jake for you, man. You hard-headed, you don't want to listen. All right. Anybody like the brother was saying earlier, a nigga think he knows it all. So you can't never tell him like, hey man, that's not the right thing to do. You're not supposed to do that. He gonna look at you like, man, what you talking about? What you know?
He'll get mad. He'll fight you.
For real.
He'll literally try to fight you just for trying to look out for him and actually do good. That's the type of people that we're dealing with. When you actually doing something positive for them, you receive hate for that.
I don't know if you remember the scene from that movie They Live. When he put pretty much Roddy Piper was trying to get him to put the glasses on so he could see the world for what it is. It was all pretty much a facade. The nigga wanted to fight him to the death. Literally, the scene lasted about for a good 10-15 minutes of trying to fight the nigga to get him to see the truth. Look, you live in the fucking dream world. Same thing with Jake.
Yeah, they want to continue living in that dream world. They just like you said for the what Jake with the pork. He's like, hey, you know, it's pork in that Man, why you got room up here?
Let's eat, man.
Yeah, that's how Jake is.
I
You
ain't
tell
gonna
him,
say shit no more.
you tell him like, hey man, you know you could be put to death for that. They get mad at you like, man, why you can't just let me live my life, man? I'm gonna get in the kingdom anyway.
Yeah.
That's how they feel about it.
I got a scripture for you because Jake wanted to be ignorant because Jake know that once he hears this, he has to apply this. And they want to stay in their ignorance.
Yeah.
It's St. John chapter 15. St. John chapter 15 verse 22. If I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not sinned.
Yeah, so if we wasn't out here bringing out this word, all right, it wouldn't be counted as sin against you because you wouldn't know that it was sin.
But now they have no cloak for their sins.
Yep. Now you have no cloak for your sins because we're letting it be known what you're doing is going to hell off. All right. So we condemning all the wicked acts of our people because this word is given unto our people first and foremost, man, and only. All right. It's only for you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. That's why when you do something versus the heathen nation doing it, you get jacked up for doing it. Because this word was given to you. These laws, statutes, and commandments were given to you to follow, even if you don't want to accept it.
It says, he that hateth me, hateth my Father also.
Yeah, so that's what it comes down to. Even if you hate us, because we come in the same spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, you hate the Father, man. All right, that's all it comes down to. You don't hate us. You can say that you do hate us for what we're speaking. At the end of the day, you hate the Most High, man. All right, and you hate His Son. That's who you really hate. That's what it comes down to. You don't hate us because we're bringing out their words.
Yeah, because if you people would see us in a day-to-day, hey, these people love us, man. All right? You just hate the spirit that we're coming in, which is the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. You got it,
It says, if I had not done among them the works which none other man did, they had not had sin. But now have they both seen and have both now have they both seen and hated both me and my Father.
That's how it is now. You hate us. All right, we coming in the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and that's why we receive the hatred, man. Like the other scripture that the brother brought out earlier. All right, the world hated me, therefore shall it hate you. So that's why we're receiving the hatred, man. Because why? We're exposing the wickedness of the society, man. We're exposing the wickedness of our people because that's who it really matters about. It doesn't matter what Esau doing. All right, of course he's going to be judged for doing that. All right, but it doesn't matter because it's not meant for him to follow the laws anyway. You're supposed to be the one doing it. You're supposed to be following the laws. If you got a job and you're supposed to do certain tasks, and you got other people on the same job as you, they not doing it, and you didn't do it along with them, when you get in trouble, can you point at the next guy and say he didn't do it too? It doesn't matter what he did. You're getting dealt with for what you're not doing, all right? And that's how it is for our people. You're getting punished for what you're not doing, which is following Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. And that's what you're supposed to be doing. Yet our people don't want to do that. They refuse to do that. They want to do everything else but that.
But this cometh to pass that the word might be fulfilled that is written in the law, in their law. They hated me without a cause. But when the Comforter is come, whom I will send unto you from the Father, even the Spirit of truth.
Boy, if I can say that they hated me without a cause, they hated Yahushua. Yahushua didn't do anything wrong.
Straight up.
He came for salvation to save them.
What about Pontius Pilate? He said this man has done no wrong.
Yeah, even the devil said it.
Yeah.
Even the devil is like, hey man, this man hasn't done anything wrong. I don't see anything in your law that you can justify him with, justify killing him with. But since Jake is wicked, man, Jake doesn't want you to spoil the party.
Thank you. No, thank you.
You know, there's a lot of wickedness. You know, Jake, you got a party and then you come and spoil it. They mad at you. You take all the alcohol. Yeah. You know, they can't turn up all night. They're mad at you because you spoiled the party. So this word spoils the party. Yep. You know, it's a discerner of spirits. It rebukes Jake. That's why Jake don't want to hear this word in the right context, because it rebukes them and it corrects them, and they know in their spirit that they actually have to do those things or they're going to be judged. So what do? They want to kill the prophets. Yep. They want to get us off YouTube. They're the ones calling the cops. They're the ones who throw stuff at us. They're the ones who give us the most problems and issues. You know, but the Lord, He's not going to allow the prophets to get put to death on that level anymore. It tells you that was Isaiah the 30th chapter.
Yeah, 30 and 20.
Yeah, 30 and 20.
Yeah.
Thy teacher shall not be backed into a corner anymore, but thy eyes shall see thy teachers. So you're seeing your teachers, you're seeing the prophets of the Lord, and you can't do nothing to us.
Good.
You know? Oh, the only one who's going well, it tells you that when the enemy shall come in, the Lord, he gonna put up a standard.
Yep.
He gonna raise up that standard. So when Esau do come in, the real enemy, all right, and you niggas gonna be part of that system too, because you worship that image. You know, you part of that beast system. And what's gonna happen? The Most High, he gonna destroy you. Straight. Because you gonna actually have Israelites coming against the prophets in that day. They're gonna be in the military. They're gonna be in the police force. Yep. They're gonna have these different super soldier suits and technology to destroy the prophets, and they're gonna do whatever the Esau tells them to do, and they're gonna be destroyed right along with this man.
That's right.
You know, so you can't come against this word. This word is set up for a season to be pushed out, and then when the Lord's done with that, is the famine of the word is gonna come in now. And then the famine of the word, that's when you niggas are gonna be through, man. And that's fastly approaching as we speak. You know, this word is not gonna be deliverable and receivable to many people in that day.
Good.
Okay.
I got a precept. Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
Yeah, and who's out here really sighing and crying about all the wickedness that is being done here and across the whole world? You know, it's slim to none that are really complaining about that. The average person on the street, what are they complaining about? They complain about their minimum wage, how they can't afford the cost of living, some bullshit like that. They're totally complacent with being here in America. If they could afford to live here, then they would have no issue. If you had the money to sustain yourself and actually be cool working your little bullshit 9 to 5, you don't have shit to complain about. Alright? So nobody's really out here sighing and crying. It's only the men of Yahweh Shemi outside sighing and crying about the wickedness that's being done here, man. Because it's nothing but wickedness being done in America and across the whole world because of that spirit that Esau pushes out there.
It says, and then when you go back to the Hebrew word for mark is tawab, meaning exempt from judgment. So the Lord has the angels marking the elect in the 1/3 that are actually signed and crying for this place to be destroyed. That put that mark so when the judgment comes, they can have that hedge of protection around them to receive salvation. It says, Mark chapter 9, verse 5, and to the others he said, Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 5, and to the others he said in my hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity.
Yeah, and that's the time that we coming into, man. All right, all you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right, who not sighing and crying, who don't have a problem with it being here in America. Hey, you, just like the brother was saying, it's a mark being set on people for it to be exempt from judgment. It's a mark being placed on you that you're going to be a target for judgment. All right, because the angels and Yahweh Shemi Shai, they're gonna know who to get. You're gonna have a spiritual mark on you, like, all right, this dude, that dude. They know exactly who to get. They're not gonna go off on who they're smiting, man. All right.
If I can say this real quick, and sighing and crying is not comments on the keyboard either, or memes. You know, it's actually coming out here.
Yeah. If you sighing and crying, you gotta actually be out there doing it, man. You know, putting that work in. All right. Yeah, like the scripture say, you gotta show your faith by your works. That's how you sighing and crying, man. By actually letting it be known, man. It's more than just one, and it's more than just one day throughout the week. All right, not just showing up for sighing and crying on a Saturday, man. You gotta do it throughout the week as well, man.
Yeah, year round, man.
Yeah, everyday thing.
What it say? Be instant, in season, not a season.
Right.
You know, you got to preach this word year round, man. You got to constantly put in the videos. You know, you got to really ramp it up to the spirit, man. We got to enter this thing. We're literally at the end of this thing. So whatever we see, we gotta
speak on it.
We gotta speak on it. We gotta prophesy. You know, and get this word out. What does the scripture say? That this word shall be preached in the four corners of the earth. Then shall the end come. How is the word being preached to the four corners of the earth? Well, via the internet. What we're doing right now, we have the live stream going up right now. We got the regular camera. We're gonna put it up on the video. Okay, brother's gonna be doing videos afterwards. I'm talking about in a global sense of this thing. Yep. The video's gonna be going up day in and day out, and that's how this man's been taken down by the spirit of the Lord's mouth, which is his prophets. That's right. This is fire, man. We actually casting fire. We're the two prophets that tormented when in Revelation. Yeah. Can we get that? Yeah. 11. Bubba Kashad, just real quick. Talk about in an overall sense. It goes deeper than that. But talk about the tribe, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. Excuse me. Okay.
Kingdom of Judah and the kingdom of Israel.
That's right.
Which is joined back together in these last days to give this devil hell through the spirit of power behind by Hashem Yahushua, of course.
And it's not taking up arms. Yeah. Like I think is it 11 or 12?
It's an 11 chapter.
8 maybe?
Probably 7, 8. Sound like it.
Yeah.
Go straight to the point.
Yeah, this goes straight to the point. It's not a big deal. You know, start up like 2 verses up. So like maybe 5 or 6.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Go wherever. Start wherever.
Wow, I started Revelations 11 and 3. And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days clothed in sackcloth.
Yeah, that's going into 350 years. Okay.
These are the 2 olive trees and the 2 candlesticks standing before the power of the earth. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth and devoureth their enemies.
See? Go ahead.
And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed.
Yeah. So you can't even touch the prophets. Yeah. Now there are going to be martyrs for this thing, but you can't. In a global sense, Esau just can't round us up. Why? Because the Most High has set this up. He has set what we're doing up in the last days. Prophesy the downfall of this kingdom and the returning of Israel back to the Father. You know, what did Yahushua tell the disciples? He said, go out in the highways and the hedges, and basically bid them to the marriage. Yeah. And that's what we're doing. We're getting you ready for the marriage. The marriage is Yahushua coming back. Now, if you don't have that wedding garment on, you're gonna get tossed out of the marriage. Okay, you're gonna get burnt with fire. So we're preparing you and getting you ready. That church without spot. Okay, go ahead.
And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. These have power to shut heaven, that it rain not in the days of their prophecies, and that power over waters to turn them to blood, and to smite the earth with plagues as often as they will.
And you know what? Hey, the prophets are smiting the earth with plagues. Yeah. Through this word. Yep. Okay? In a spiritual sense. Yeah. And that's going to actually happen because the prophets, they're going to have a spiritual power in these last days. To heal, to call down fire, you know, the Most High, whatever the Most High do. But He's going to set it up to where we're going to have to fight against our enemy. On a certain level. Okay? But this word actually puts plagues upon this place. Why? Because it's written in the scriptures, right? It's written. And then God speaks it into existence by prophecy.
Yeah, the scripture.
And you see that? Like a complete demon. Who was it? It was Jake.
It was a nigga.
He tried to mean mug you and look you in the eye.
I didn't even know that.
But you know what? That proves that we're the Israelites. It's all good. But that proves that we're the Israelites. Deuteronomy 28 chapter.
Good.
Okay? Yep. Your eyes shall be evil. Your brother's eyes shall be evil towards one another. Because back in the ancient world, we used to be very tender and delicate. Meaning, they can see the love that we had for one another. Okay? Well, we used to even give each other kisses. That's how men kissing, kissing, but not in a sexual sense. Okay? That's how close we were as a people.
Totally kiss.
You know? But now we're destroyed. You got the northern and the southern kingdom fighting. Then you got fighting within the tribes. But that's another indicator that we're the Israelites, that your own people will hate you.
That's why the Lord told Ezekiel, make that face hard against their face.
I was thinking about that earlier when y'all were bringing out those scriptures. Yep. But the Most High, He made our face harder than you niggas, man. Yeah. You niggas really, you never really stood up for anything in your life. You know? You're scared of the so-called white man.
Yep.
You scared of the so-called white woman. Okay? You're scared of the other nations. You're scared of how people will look at you. You're scared of your family and co-workers, how they will look at you, man. We don't care about that, man. The Most High, He raised up men to flee from Babylon, or flee from this place, like He told you in Micah the 2nd chapter. I mean, spiritually, we don't give a goddamn about this place, anything in it. You know why? It's all going to be dissolved by fire. Okay? And we're going to enter into a new kingdom, which is going to be nothing but righteousness. And all you people are going to be under us. Okay? Right now, you over us. Right, you got these lousy ass women. They get to choose and pick who they want to be with. In the kingdom of heaven, that's not gonna happen. We gonna choose and pick who we gonna be with. All right, and we gonna have power over life and death. Okay, so we wanna put your ass to death. We can do that. We wanna not put you to death. We can do that. We gonna have total control over you people, over you heathens. Yeah. And 2/3 of you jakes that get destroyed here, you gonna reverence the prophets in the kingdom of heaven. Yep. Okay, there's gonna be a difference. All right, it ain't just gonna be you gonna have a different glow. You have a different stature. You have a different reputation. Just as you niggas have a reputation in this world, you sold out to the devil. Excuse me. Go ahead.
I was gonna say they're gonna be our children.
Yeah, that's the spirit.
Not even our grandchildren.
There you go.
Don't have to reverence.
That's great grandpa right there.
You know, see, there you go. Because everything's gonna come and follow through the elect. Everything's gonna come out of lines of the elect. So ultimately, the kingdom of heaven was, honestly, it wasn't promised to the 2/3. Yep. The kingdom of heaven was promised to the 1/3, and through the 1/3, the 2/3 are going to inherit, because they're going to be the children of the 1/3. Yeah. So that's why when we come out, we speak. The majority of the people, they're not going to understand. The majority of our people has that. They're not going to get this because it wasn't given to them. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, but it also says in Daniel the 12th chapter that they're going to be shamed too.
Yeah, they're going to have that everlasting contempt. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. Yeah. They're going to have their head down in the kingdom of heaven for a time. Yep. Just for a time, you know.
You know, Jake, man, we're going to be getting on them. Jake going to score.
Man, we going to score. We going to, how do they call it, bag on them, or, shoot on them, yeah. Jake, it's going to be a big circle too, Jake.
In that day, we're going to be 100% righteous.
That's right.
They're going to come back with the heart of flesh. Yep. So they're going to understand why. Ultimately, it's predestination. They're going to understand that, look, the Most High didn't choose me. He chose what you always chose.
Right, yeah. It's all going to be spiritual. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
I appreciate it. All right.
God bless you. He could be a Jake.
He could be a Jake. You don't know.
Yeah.
That's the spirit.
That's the spirit, bro.
The man gave, the man,
the seeker.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the spirit. See, this word is getting out. That's why it's very important to continue to prophesy, continue to get your videos up, continue to look into things, continue to study, and deny yourself more. Go ahead, brother.
So you got to come out to the highways and the byways too.
Gotta be seen.
You gotta do that. It's bread and butter.
Yeah.
That's the foundation, man. You gotta be out. People gotta see you. They gotta see your prophet. They gotta see the prophets. Okay.
I shall see thy teachers.
There you go.
And a lot of people don't be on YouTube. I know me. I didn't get to YouTube until I came across the prophets on the streets. That's why you gotta be out here.
And like the dude said, he basically saw Jake, and then he looked it up on the internet. And then you're gonna go on YouTube. So you gotta be out here. Now the heavy lifting, like the Apostle Gabar said, is through the internet. That's the heavy lifting. But your ass gotta be out there on the highways and hedges to show your faith. It's all about the Lord wants you to show your faith. That's all that this is. And to be, because the internet's gonna be shut down. Okay? The internet's gonna be shut down. So you want to be on the highways and the hedges.
Revelation chapter 11 verse 7. And when they
also we are supposed to be a spectacle. You can't be a spectacle online. You gotta be a spectacle in the flesh. So we're set up as a spectacle to these people. Romans 12 chapter.
It says, and when they shall have finished their testimony. Revelation chapter 11 verse 7. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them, and shall overcome them and kill them. And their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
America. That's Esau. That beast is Esau. Okay. We're in that great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, which Egypt was the ancient captivity that we were in, and demons, and that was destroyed. So the Most High is likening those two captivities to this captivity here. Because they spiritually resemble themselves.
Babylon is all those kingdoms mixed in one. You know, Babylon is great. Yep.
Confusion. What's a whole bunch of doctrines
straight up
all in one? That's confusion. Now you might have one doctrine. All right, this is the doctrine, and then there's certain guidelines. Okay, you know this is Christianity, or you know this is Islam, or whatever. But then you got Christianity, you got Islam, you got Buddhism, you got Satanism thrown in there. That's nothing but confusion, man. And that's what Babylon and Kemet. You can be a goddamn witch here. You can worship Satan here. You can actually join the Church of Satan. That only in Babylon. Only in Babylon you can do that. But then that philosophy has spread throughout the whole planet Earth too. So you can do that in certain other countries, but a lot of countries, you gotta hide from doing that shit, man. They'll put you after death. You know? You can do drugs legally here. Oh man. There's opioid dens all around these back streets. People just lying, sleeping on the ground because there's no housing. Because they have mental health issues. All mental health issues is that you're a drug addict on drugs. That's what that is. You got demons on you, man. You got demons on you. You got heavy spirits on you, man. Esau, those drugs allow you to open up to the spiritual world. And you get all type of demons on you. That's why you be seeing people talking to themselves. They talking to demons. I remember a long time ago. It was this lady. It was my coach's wife. She's like, have you ever wondered, like, the homeless talking to themselves? Maybe they're talking. I think they're talking to God.
They talking to a mama.
Yeah, they talking to demons, man. You know.
It says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
Jake is here dead. Their dead bodies are here. Now, a portion of the body is being risen up and now has a life placed inside of him. Ezekiel the 37th chapter. Okay, but for the most part, Jake is dead, man. Jake don't know what the hell is going on. They have their own idea of how the earth is going to move, or their own idea how the Most High is, you know, how he gets down. So that's why it's important for us. We gotta constantly keep telling Jake, man. So when they gonna have no excuse in their time of judgment, because the word has gone out. The Most High could just judge this place now, but the Most High, the Lord like to hit the point. He really likes to give it to you over and over and over again. So when he comes to you, you have no excuse. And that's what's going to happen. You Israelites going to have no excuse in that day. Well, the angel is not going to want to hear that excuse. He's just going to put you to death. Go ahead.
It says, where also our Lord was crucified.
Yeah, he was crossed out, Yahushua. So much so that they changed his name. They gave him Jesus.
Yeah.
That's not his name. That comes with a certain spirit too.
Yep.
Jesus comes with what? Forgiving, all-loving spirit, sodomite trannies. You know, they got sodomite churches. They got a sodomite church in San Francisco where the pastor and everybody's gay. They got transgender churches, transgender pastors. That's you crossing out Yahushua and placing a Cesar Borgia in his stead. Okay, and what comes with that? It comes with a wicked philosophy, a wicked way of thinking that has totally destroyed our people's mind. That plantation Christianity. Okay?
And they of the people, and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see.
Oh no, that's fine.
And nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them, and make merry, and shall give and send gifts one to another.
Yeah, we've been taken advantage of. Okay, the reason why you see Babylon as a great nation, what people say the richest nation in the world, in the world, the most prosperous nation in the world, the best infrastructure. The so-called America is leading in so many different categories. At one point, this shit is declining now. It's because of the Israelites. It's because of their labor. It's because of their intellectual property that you have stolen from them and taken advantage of. The heathen, they're able to come over here and prosper because of the Israelites set the groundwork. They build up everything. Now Elam, Moab, Ishmael, they can come over here into our neighborhood, they can set up shop, and then they can take advantage of us, make all type of money. They have better opportunity coming over because of the civil rights that Jake went through. So it's all because of the backs and labor of the Israelites. While everything is running, the transit system, these public transit systems, who's up in there driving those buses, those trolleys, working on the track? It's Israelites, man. What is it called? The customer service. Who's in customer service? Supplying you Edomites and you other nations with all these goods. Jake. Who's in the manufacturing?
Yeah.
Jake. Who's in the warehouse industry? You got to get all your stuff in the warehouse, right? Who's doing that? Jake is doing that. So everything is on the backs of the Israelites.
Service sector.
The service sector. Everything. Every goddamn thing. Your school system is able to make billions upon billions of dollars because what? Jake is up in them schools. The NCAA.
Good. Oh yeah.
Now California is going to start paying their athletes, so to speak.
Good.
But how much money has California and all these other states made off Israelites?
Too much.
They make trillions of dollars, man.
To this day.
Where's all the Israelites with that money, man? You can get pretty much any opioid nigga off the block, and this nigga was a high school running back, man, an all-star. He ain't got no money. He might have torn his ACL and they kicked him to the curb. So this happens all the time. So everything in this place is set up. Everything is set up and prospering because of these people on that side.
Yeah.
Who's in the food industry? Issachar, he cooking. Where if the Issachar side, we ain't cooking no more, the whole world will stop. America will stop.
They had Day Without a Mexican. They had that the movie Salakia. It shows how much if you remove these tribes from the scenario, man, everything will fall.
Well, if you remove salt from the body, what happens? You die.
That's right.
And we're the salt of the earth.
Yeah.
So the salt, that's an essential. The Most High even said that in the book of Sirach. That's an essential thing you need in your life is salt. You need salt. You need water. You need housing. There's clothing. In order for you to live, because those trace minerals, man, that's sodium chloride, that's magnesium, phosphorus, zinc, all that. You need that for all your daily functions of your body, your biological and chemical reactions. Go ahead.
Revelations 11:10, and they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them.
Yeah, Esau and other nations, they rejoice over us. Even during going into the time of slavery or coming out of slavery, they were sending postcards to one another. Okay? With a lot of those photos that you see in today of Jake getting hung and burnt, those were actually postcards that they would send one to another. That's what the so-called white man was doing. Okay? Rejoicing over us. And they're still doing that to this day.
And make merry and shall send gifts one to another.
That's what I was just going into. They shall send gifts one to another. They even was sending Israelites as gifts. Oh, here's a slave. And we gonna do that in the kingdom of heaven. You want to give a brother a good gift? Give him a nice little Edomite concubine, man, or a couple of them, 1,000 of them. Give him some Hamite slaves, some Edomite slaves to work in the field. That's the best gift you can give. Okay, the gift that keeps on giving. All right, keep going.
Because these two prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth.
Yep, Judah and Ephraim. And we're tormenting Esau right now through the word. See, this word is really getting to this man. Because it's making people what? It's making people consider this man's his science. Question this man and his news. Now everybody's talking about fake news. We've been talking about Esau's fake news before this dude Trump starts saying it. Or before it starts going mainstream. Why? Because the Most High put the spirit on the prophets to push that spirit out there. When things start happening, it's because the prophet said it before it happened. That's what prophesy means, and that's what will be considered a prophet. Say something before it happens.
And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them.
Yeah, coming out of slavery. Okay.
And they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them with sorrow.
So now great fear is now upon the elite of the society, not these rinky-dink, average people. And Edomites, some of them are afraid. Some of them are afraid watching the videos, knowing that there's judgment impending. But who really is afraid are the elites of the society, because they know the prophecy. They know that they're Esau. And they know that we're Jacob, and they know the prophecy that Jacob is going to take over Esau. Okay. So they're trying to wiggle themselves out of this thing. Okay, just like Pharaoh knew the judgment, right? Moses told him the judgment. Okay. Moses told the judgment. But what the Most High did what? He hardened Pharaoh's heart. So the Most High hardened the heart of Esau. For what? For this great battle, to accomplish what he wants to accomplish, which is what? The destruction of this man. Okay? And because this is his story. This is the Yahweh Shema Shai story. That's right.
It's a precept, Psalms chapter 83, verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh Shema Shai.
Yep.
Hold not thy peace.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite scriptures. Keep not thou silence. Hold not thy peace. Go ahead.
And be not still, O power, for lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
Yeah, the elites of this society. They hate the Most High, so what do? They can't physically go into, well, they trying. Esau trying to get interdimensional craft, build these different spacecrafts to go into dimensions and shit. He want to open up dimension and portals. He want to go to the spiritual world. To do what? He want to fight the Most High. Well, the Most High going to bring the fight to you, Esau. Okay? So what did they do? They took counsel against his people. Okay, which is people are the Israelites, and that's why when you go throughout any place in the world and there's Israelites there, they're always doing worse than all the other people. They're always down and out. They got the most ailments. They're the most bugged out. They're heavily into religion.
It said they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones.
Yep, go ahead.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
And that's what they try to do. But they failed miserably, because we're back. And we're back better than ever, because that was the prophecy, Esau. It was prophesied for you to take us in slavery, but you thought that you was going to just keep us in slavery forever. And we just going to forget about everything. Oh, can you get Isaiah 1 and 9? We just gonna forget about everything. The Most High was gonna be like, you know what, Esau, you the chosen now. All right, no, that's not what's gonna happen, and that's not what's happening. What's happening is the breath is being put back into the body, and now the Esau, he's scared because there's nothing you can do. We got freedom of speech now, right? We can curse your ass out in your kingdom. That's unprecedented. When in the conception of America, you can do this. You will get lynched. Okay, you will have a lynch mob grab you up, and you'll get lynched before the day ends. Okay, but now we have the word has free reign now. That was prophesied.
Going back 70 years, you couldn't do this during the periods. That's the time that Esau going to go back to. Right? Let's go back to the 50s, the booming 50s. That's what they call them. All these Edomites is doing good, man. It wasn't the opioids didn't exist at that time. When they had opioid debts, he had his picket fence. He was living in the suburbs waiting for you niggas, and he had his wife and his children. Man. He had a nice job. He had a car, and his wife stayed at home. Man.
He was able to send his kids to college. He didn't have to worry. He didn't have to worry about his daughter running off with a black man.
Or his wife.
Or his wife. So we're coming to unprecedented times. We're coming. Why? Because we're in the end. We're at the end of this thing. Where the Most High is destroying the nation of Edom, man. Deuteronomy, the 30th chapter, 30 and 7. All these curses are now going to be placed upon our enemies. Esau's dying at an all-time rate.
Well, you got the deaths of despair.
Yep, deaths of despair, drugs.
That's been happening for like 2 years now, man. And it's mainly you middle-aged Edomites, and now it's hitting you Generation Xers, man. You millennials, you killing yourself now. You just now hit 30, you realize that your life is shit. With the college, or you didn't go to college. Now your mind, you all plugged out of your mind. You looking at fucking Instagram all day. You seeing people, live a false lifestyle. You're like, damn, I could have had this. Why don't they ain't got that? I could have happy, be smiling all the time. So you want to kill yourself, man.
And that's what's happening.
Yep.
That's actually what's happening.
You jumping in front of the park. You jumping in front of these trains in the subway system. You just taking yourself out, man, because you can't deal with the hill.
Yeah. Or you looking for a Jose with the highest level fentanyl.
Yeah.
Just to go out.
That's the choice way.
You know, that's the best way.
Painless.
Yep. Go out with your fork rush.
Yeah.
You know. That was all you wanted to say? Yeah. Go ahead.
Quick precept which you quoted Deuteronomy 30:7. And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee.
Yeah, upon our enemies. Now Esau's getting pushed out the block. Esau's dying. His life expectancy is going down. And it's like out of nowhere. It's just like it literally just happened overnight.
Well, Esau ain't got freedom of speech no more.
He can't
do what we do.
Yep.
If he come out here and say niggas need to die, you know, niggas need to be in slavery, even his own people gonna come up against him. He complains about that. You know, you see these videos, you see videos of the brothers going out throughout the four corners of the earth. He complains.
You don't have white privilege no more.
If I did that, I'll get arrested. If I did that, people would come up against me. Yeah, because you are losing rulership, man.
That's right.
We got the privilege that you had back in the 50s, the 40s, the 20s, right? And in the kingdom, we gonna have the same privileges that you had in your kingdom, man. We gonna get to put our foot in your ass, and you can't do nothing about it, man. You gonna try to call the cops, and first of all, the cops gonna be Israelites, man. They gonna put more hell on you, right?
Straight up.
Where's the justice? You gonna get another foot in your ass.
It's gonna be just Esau. It's nothing but downhill from here on out.
Yep.
When you deal with graphs, right? You have the peak and you have the great default. You have that decline. So that's what's happening. You had a peak. You got your 15 minutes of shame. Now your ass is through. Okay, shameful glory, shameful spewings are now placed upon your glory. You were once a glorious nation. Now you're a shameful nation. So much so you don't even have the right to speak your mind anymore.
Can't do it, man.
Nobody want to hear what you got to say.
It says.
Oh yeah, can you go to Isaiah? You got that? You got a research? I got it. Okay, go ahead and then we'll go to Isaiah 1 and 9.
This is Psalms chapter 7, verse 15. He made a pit and digged it.
Beautiful.
And is fallen into the ditch which he made.
This dude, he made them. See, look, you can't even blame them. You can't blame nobody but yourself. Because you created this society, okay? You created this dynamic. And now your ass is falling into that trap. Your pharmaceutical companies create opioids. The so-called black man is family, they didn't create no opioids. They didn't do that. They didn't go to Afghanistan and take the poppy pills. That's basically what them opioids are. It's nothing but heroin in a pill. So you're a goddamn drug dealer. Now your own nation is succumbing to drugs. Why? Because now they can't deal with pain. Okay. Then these pharmaceutical companies are preying upon the average middle-aged white person. Okay, making money off of it, and then they can't deal with stress. So if they lose a job, they end up might kill themselves. Like you got the French protest, the yellow vest, which that's going into its almost a year. Yeah, like 50th week, almost a year of them protesting. Yep, 10.5 months. See, almost a whole year of them protesting. A lot of the cops there, they have a high suicide rate. And they're getting work long hours, you know.
The cops protesting now.
Yeah, the cops protesting too.
Here it is. The cops are supposed to be, trying to quell the Gilet John protest.
Right.
Now they protesting, man. Yeah. They gonna start wearing yellow vests. See, what's happening to you Edomites is your whole society is collapsing before your eyes, man. You can't do nothing to stop it. Everybody is fighting against your system. The scriptures tell you that. The earth is gonna rise up against you. And you at least know it, man. These people ain't with your new world order, man. Right? They not with the system that you set up. They not with your society, man. So they rebelling against it. And you gonna get rebellion when you try to institute your RFID microchip as well, man. You thought everything was just gonna go smoothly. Oh, see, I'm gonna do terrorist attacks. I'm gonna have wars going on. See, we already had 2 world wars, so just the threat of World War III, these people they're gonna fold. They're gonna accept the new religion, the one world religion. They're gonna accept the one world economic system. They're gonna accept the one world ruler. These people don't want that, man. They already see where this is headed, man.
And then you got the prophets out. That's really that's your ass.
That's the dagger, man.
That's it.
See, it is you pushing out your narrative, but then you how about Shem Yahushua is pushing the truth out through his men. You getting exposed, man. And now you can see it too, man. This nigga be getting ready to do something, and then the prophets come out with the video exposing it, and then he got to switch it up. He just shut down. Nah, we ain't gonna do it like that. You already know. You know, it's gonna come to the point where you're gonna have to institute Revelation 12 and 12.
You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to, because even at that time, miracles gonna be happening. So the power. See, right now, people they don't really respect the prophets right now on a grand scheme. But when that power comes, it tells you that in the Psalms, thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power. So you gonna have massive people being delivered unto the church. Waking up. That's gonna mess Esau up. One third of the people of Israel returning back to the Most High. That's gonna totally destroy this whole economy, man. As well as pestilences, earthquakes, more wars, race wars. I mean, the Most High, He gonna hit you with everything, man. Everything in the kitchen sink. Okay?
I have one verse.
Okay, go ahead.
Back in Psalms chapter 7, verse 16, his mischief shall return upon his own head.
His mischief shall return upon his own head, because the way that Esau set the society up, it's all mischief. The laws that he creates, you people don't have any say-so of what laws created or what laws not created. He does that in the back in a back room somewhere. Okay, with the top level Edomite, with the elite. Okay, he don't have you average. It's supposed to be a so-called democracy, right? Or a republic where the people is the people's choice. The people don't have a goddamn thing to say. All right, when it comes to the laws here in America, they're being railroaded. Okay, come.
It's Isaiah 10 and 1. Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed.
Yeah, woe, destruction to you Edomites. You the one who write all these wicked laws, and this damn devil, he looks at the law in the Bible, he just goes directly against it. He looks at the Bible as evil. A woman's supposed to be with one man. He looks at it as being evil. A man supposed to be put to death if you lie with a man. He looks at it as evil. So what do? He allows that to happen. Okay? This man allows this shit to happen, and he writes it in his laws. Grievousness in his law. He writes laws to lock up Israelites. He writes laws so you don't have as much opportunity as he has. And then when the law applies to him, he can weave under the law. He can just move over the law, because he's not subject to his own law, especially if you got money. Because he's the goddamn devil. He's a deceiver of the earth.
Well, it says was white that right grievousness which they have prescribed. So he didn't wrote the laws already.
Right.
Just like this ban that they passed on medical exemptions for vaccines out here in California. That nigga wrote the law already. He already knew he was gonna pass it too, man. You fucking sheeps protesting. Oh no SB 276. You writing the letters to the governor. Don't sign. He signed it anyway, man.
They ain't gonna do nothing.
He has to do what his handlers tell him to do, which are the elites. They don't care about you people, man. That's gonna cause sedition in this society, man.
It's like Ezra 15 chapter.
But you people gonna finally realize that your government hates you. They ain't for your turn, man. They're gonna start passing more draconian laws, and you people gonna lose your mind, man. Esau gonna lose it when they start taking his guns.
Oh man, he's out of there. That's when Esau gonna fight. Esau gonna fight when Esau start taking Esau's guns. Because the elite, they want to have control over weapons. They don't want that, because they know the history. The people can actually uprise and overthrow. So they don't want that. If they got those weapons, there's more people than there are those that are in leadership, so to speak. So the people can overthrow them. So they don't want that to happen. That's why they rule in the secret, in the dark. It's up in debate who really runs the world. That's how they want it. They don't want you to know, okay, I'm Rothschild, I really run this thing. I'm a DuPont. I really run this thing. They ain't gonna be out there like that. In the kingdom of heaven, you gonna know who's ruling, all right? Because you gonna have crowns on, you gonna have number gold on, and here you gonna have that rod of iron. And that glow, you can't forget that glow. Jake might just be levitating. You might not even want to walk. and you just gonna be bashing people against the head. So that's how you know who's gonna be the rulers in that day, man. Okay? Go ahead, bro.
This, Psalms chapter.
And you're not gonna have wickedness, okay? Wickedness is gonna get put out. If we see wickedness, man, we gonna put it out. That's what's gonna happen. That's what we gonna be set up to do for eternity. We gonna keep the world, we gonna keep the earth ruling in the proper way that the Most High wanted to. Okay, righteousness being righteous judgments. This place has no righteous judgments. This place is totally on the opposite side of the spectrum when it comes to righteousness. You know, his judicial court, his system, right? What that goes into justice, that's far from justice. Okay, that's why Jake always got to protest. No justice, no peace. Hands up, don't shoot, because you're getting railroaded in the court system day in and day out, getting football numbers. Yeah.
This is Psalms chapter 141, verse 9. Keep me from the snares which they have laid for me.
Yeah, keep me from the snares. And if somebody gets Psalms the 10th chapter, you can start at the top. Keep me from the snares that they laid for me. Because this whole society, this system, which means trap, is all a snare to trap you up. To trap you up into consumerism, to trap you up into philosophy, to have your mind totally in this system. To where somebody can tell you the truth, they look, hey, I'm telling you the truth, trying to wake you up. You look at this like, man, you better get away from me, man. You a bug out.
It's chemtrails. Look what you talking about. That's exhaust.
What you talking about? This ain't real meat. This McDonald's burger, this shit tastes good as shit.
Got babies in it. Now you tripping?
Y'all crazy, man. See, somebody like that, you can't rehabilitate a guy like that, and that's what Esau wants. He got his red, blue, and yellow list and shit. Esau doesn't want anybody to be rehabilitated. He wants them stuck in that system. He wants them stuck on his philosophy, on his wavelength, on his spirit. Okay, and but this truth is counter intuitive to this man, because this is the only thing that can get an Israelite out of that current way of thinking. Okay, because this book can cast spirits off you, right? And this book can raise the dead, and that's basically what it's doing. It's raising the dead. It's healing the sick. Okay, through this word, real quick, you get Matthew 10 and 5. Real quick, because this word does a lot. Look, the Lord cleaned us up. Look where we were prior to coming into this thing. We was all messed up. We was just a Babylonian. We didn't know. We had no idea. We had aspirations of being professional athletes, rappers. Your mind was so stuck in a small box that that's the only thing that you can think of, being a rapper. That's like the highlight of being an Israelite, is being an entertainer.
Yep, spirit. Yep.
You couldn't even think outside of the box. You couldn't even you weren't even conscious. But this truth makes you totally conscious. Okay, to Yahweh Shema Shah, you start understanding the workings of the Most High's mind on a very small level of what He gives us. Okay, because the Most High is way out. All right. Yeah. Go ahead. Matthew 10.
Yeah. This is Matthew 10 and 5. These 12 Yahushua sent forth and commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, meaning these people right here on that sign. Okay, those are the true people of the Bible, the God, the Israelites, and that's what we're out here doing. Go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, because our people are lost. They don't know who the hell they are. They literally have no clue. So we're set up to tell them who they are. That's all. Go ahead.
Verse 8. Heal the sick.
Heal the sick. So when we read out of this Bible, and you're an Israelite, this book has the possibility to heal you. To heal you from your sickness, your mental sickness, all right? Of you thinking that you're American, that you thinking that life is fair, that the so-called white man is for your benefit.
His system is for you.
His system is set up for you. Oh, there's equal opportunity. All you gotta do is work hard, go to school, and you can be anything you want to be. You can be the president.
You can make
Man, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
All right, that's not reality. Okay.
lie.
That's what they teach you. That's what they give you in that school. That's the school, the full system.
That's a false sense of hope.
A false sense of hope, and that's why Why did Jay keep going? Because they have a hope that they can one day make it here in Babylon.
We're gonna overcome.
One
Which
day.
is true according to the scriptures.
Right.
But Jake is looking at it from an aspect of being in this society.
Right.
And we're gonna overcome. One day we're gonna be on the top. We're gonna be in the White House. We're gonna be in the Congress, in the Senate. And you niggas clap when the first black congressman, first black congresswoman, or the first black person to own their own business, first black billionaire. You niggas are low level.
Super low.
This man still has an agenda against you. All right, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans getting into politics, becoming judges, becoming senators. That ain't stopping this man's agenda to exterminate you, man. This system is still against you. That ain't gonna get Jake out the project. All right, that ain't gonna get Jake out the hood. That ain't gonna take the liquor stores out Jake's community. That ain't gonna stop the drugs from flowing into neighborhoods of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You ain't meant to prosper here, man. And that's another thing that we here to give you the reality of. You are here to serve captivity, man. The reason why you was brought over here was to serve slavery because you broke the covenant that you made with the Heavenly Father, man.
Right.
You ain't here to prosper, you're here to become rich. You get Deuteronomy the 30th chapter real quick. You here for a specific reason, man. But see, the so-called white man is this damn devil, the red Hebrew Edomite, him stripping your nationality away from you. You don't know what your purpose is, man. You just caught up in the American dream. Oh, see, I'm here. Oh, I see lights and stars. You know, I could be an actor. I could be a millionaire. I could have a mansion. But that's not what you're here for, man. You are here to remember the covenant that you made between you and Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You're supposed to reflect on the situation that you're in and turn back to the Heavenly Father, man. You ain't here to prosper. Alright, these Edomites damn sure didn't bring you so-called Negroes here to prosper, man. Bring it out.
Top. It's Deuteronomy chapter 3, verse 1.
30.
Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, when all these things that come upon thee, the blessings and the curses.
Yeah, we fully experienced the curses, man, despite what some of these idiots out there say. Well, how do you know all the curses have happened to the nation of Israel? We experienced all the curses, man. That's the reason why we're in the state that we're in right now. We fully experienced those curses. Alright? Came over here on cargo slave ship, that curse was fulfilled. Alright, the diseases amongst our people, that curse is being fulfilled. You go to look at the people on the side and look up the disease that they have, man. It's disproportionate amongst these people, man. Heart disease, cancer, you know, prostate cancer, breast cancer, asthma, diabetes, gout, you know, liver and kidney failure, stroke,
prostate issue.
That's all very heightened amongst these people, man. So it's no denying who the Israelites are. It's no denying that we have fully experienced the curses. Keep going.
And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessings and the curse which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations.
That's what's going on right now. We're calling them to mind. Somebody get that in Baruch too, where it say in the land of captivity they shall remember themselves. That's what's going on right now. But see, Jake ain't gonna make this connection if they don't know who they are. Which is the reason why this devil set the society up like this. Right? But what he didn't take into account was that the spirit of the Most High was gonna come upon the nation of Israel anyway. Regardless of what carnal means you try to institute to keep this knowledge away from us. First of all, this is prophesied. So it's going to happen anyway, regardless of what this devil tried to do. If he could have killed the entire nation of Israel and left like 7 of them, they would have procreated, the nation would have came back. Prophecy still would have came to pass, man.
The Most High can raise up rocks. So there's nothing you can do. Well, it says the words that go out, they don't return void. So all these things have to happen. That's how we know who we are. That's how we know we're at the end of this, at the end of the world. Because these things are happening in conjunction with each other. Symbolizing what? Symbolizing that we're the Israelites and that this man is going down.
It says, which I have set before thee, and thou shalt cause him to mind among all the nations, whither the Lord thy power hath driven thee.
Yeah, and that's what we did. All right, this happened throughout the four corners of the earth. It ain't just happened here in America. Israelites are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. You got camps out there in Europe. That's one of the places where the Most High scattered our people. Even though we was ruling that land for a time, and we got conquered over there and then, brought over here, and cargo slave ships brought to Africa, the Most High, but we scattered us back over there, man. We got a lot of Northern Kingdom Jakes over there in Europe. So wherever Jake is at, they call to mind the curses. Why am I in this predicament? Why are my people going through these things? Why we can't never get a leg up? Because you got curses on you, man. Well, why those curses on us? Because the Heavenly Father put those on us? Well, why would God curse us? Oh, we made a covenant with him. Damn.
Yeah, you got to start asking all those questions.
Yeah. Well, see, Esau, he don't want you to ask those questions. That's why look, you just a Negro. You just a nigga from Africa now swinging on trees, living in a damn mud hut.
Yeah.
All right? Eating with your hands. Not wearing any clothes. And I brought you over here and civilized you, man. I upgraded you.
No pictures, please.
Hey. Keep going.
And shall return unto the Lord thy power.
Yeah, and that's what we do. We return it unto Yahweh Shem Yahushua. How do you do that? You recognize your nationality, which is dumbass nigga vocab, saying that ain't part of the gospel, man. That's an essential part of the gospel. You recognizing what nation you come from. How you gonna repent if you don't know who you are? All right. Yeah. What are you repenting from?
Vocab just wants you to go back to sleep into a Negro. He just wants you to be a Negro.
Yeah, he wants you to hang on the block and pitch rocks, man, shoot guns at niggas. He ain't got no problem with that. Once you start to, clean yourself up and get right with Yahweh Shem Yahushua, now it's a problem. Now y'all breaking the scriptures down wrong. But Jake could be all on, the radio, making CDs, just demonic music, man. He ain't got no problem with that. As soon as a Jake comes up with the proper interpretation of the scripture, now it's a problem. Oh, you niggas all wrong. Further pushing that agenda of his masters and his people, the Edomites, man, to suppress you, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, to keep you from your true heritage so you don't remember who you are, so you can continue ruling, man. That's really what it's all about. All right? And that's another thing that Jake doesn't take into account. Why this damn devil hates him so much. The only way you're going to understand that is if you know who you are. And you know who he is. Keep going.
And shall obey his voice.
Yeah, how do you obey his voice? You follow his commandments, man. You follow his commandments and the commandments of his son. Keep going.
According to all that I command thee this day. It says, thou and thy children with all thy hearts.
It's like you keep going.
It says, and shall return unto the Lord thy power, and shall obey his voice, according to all that I commanded thee this day, that all thy children with all thine heart and with all thy soul.
Yeah, so you return unto the Lord with all your heart, with all your soul, man. That's what we did. We cast off the ways of this society, the ways of niggerdom. We cast those off, man. We ain't smoking blunts. We ain't hanging on the corner trying to sell rocks. All right?
Not in pursuit of a rap career.
Yep. Nigga really Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Yahushua said he came to do the will of the Father, man, and to finish it. So not only do we have to do it, we have to finish the work, man. Okay? We got to finish the labor. The labor is not done until the Most High delivers us. Okay, until this place is destroyed. So work. There's a lot of work out there to be done. All right.
It says that then the Lord thy power would turn thy captivity.
Yeah, he gonna turn the captivity after you remember yourself. Real quick, get that in Baruch. And this is something that's necessary. It had to happen. This man would have never went down. And he knows that. He knows those prophecies, man. So what did he try to do? Oh, look, I'm gonna take their nationality away from them. So this will never happen. If I beat it out of them, how they gonna remember it? I'm gonna take the records away from them. I'm not going to teach them how to read. So they'll never find this out. Then I'm going to set up a school system that's going to steer them down the wrong path. They're never going to come to this information. I think it might be in the third chapter.
Third chapter, three days later.
Yeah, this Ruth 3 and 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our power.
Yep.
Hear Israel, the commandments of life, give ear to understand wisdom.
Yeah, because, can you read that again? Because we are our forefathers coming back. So we committed those iniquities in the past, and now we got judged now. We got judged in today's day, you know? We went into captivity, we went into slavery. Now we're in America. Can you read that from the top again?
Oh wait, I think I should start up a little bit more. Verse 6, Ruth 3 and 6. For thou art the Lord our power, and thee, O Lord, will we praise. And for this cause thou hast put thy fear in our hearts, to the intent that we should call upon thy name and praise thee in our captivity. For we have called to mind all the iniquity of our forefathers.
That's heavy too. That means that the Lord, He gave us that name. He gave us the name. You know, we through the Spirit, because he caused that fear to be into our hearts. To do what? To call upon His name, so He can have mercy upon His elect. Because it was prophesied that a remnant will return. So He had to get that name back. That was the first key of the children coming back to the Most High. You know.
Can I bring this real fast out?
It's like it's in the second chapter.
This is
2 and 30. You can start off a little bit above.
This is Malachi 3 and 16. Then they that feared the Lord spake often one to another, and the Lord hearkened and heard it. And a book of remembrance was written before Him for them that feared the Lord, and that thought upon His name.
Yeah, that's what the scriptures are for. It's a book of remembrance for the elect to remember what's going on. So the elect can remember themselves, remember Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because they're the ones that have been predestined to be delivered in these last days. They're the only ones that's going to gain the understanding of the scriptures.
Yeah, kind of. I started verse 26. Baruch 2 and 26. And the house which is called by thy name hast thou laid waste.
Yeah, which is the land of Israel. Alright, and the nation of Israel. Us as a people, we're laid waste. Jake's destroyed out here, man.
Yeah.
Completely gone. Keep going.
As it is to be seen this day, for the wickedness of the house of Israel and the house of Judah.
For the wickedness, that's the reason why you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are completely destroyed. Keep going.
O Lord, our power, thou hast dealt with us after all thy goodness, and according to all that great mercy of thine.
Yeah, because He could have destroyed us completely, but the Most High always left a remnant. Keep going.
As thou spakest by thy servant Moses in the day when thou didst command him to write thy law.
Which goes back to the curses that he wrote. The blessings and the curses. The Most High laid it out for us what was going to happen to us if we went off. So it wasn't like no mystery, like the Most High played a trick on us. Okay, look, He just told us the good part. That's what the devil does.
Yeah.
Look, see, if you follow me, you can have all this.
Yeah.
He don't tell you what's going to happen if you break the contract. Or if he just get tired of you. He don't tell you that. If you didn't have $1 million, he didn't lie to you. Don't lie to you. He ain't got to tell you the truth.
Or he'll have it in small print where you overlook it. He was like, well, it was here. You
gotta
agree?
get a damn microscope to see what he wrote, man.
Or he need a goddamn law degree.
Good.
Terminology.
Legal jargon. Keep going.
As thou spakest by thy servant Moses in the day when thou didst command him to write thy law before the children of Israel.
Yeah, which goes into Deuteronomy 28 and Leviticus 26 chapters, which line out the blessings and the curses that was going to fall upon our people. Blessings for obedience and the curses for disobedience. Keep going.
saying, If ye will not hear my voice, surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations.
That's Jake right now, man. We're a small number amongst these nations. All right. Well, it's been forever that the so-called Negro have been 12% of the United States population. Ever since slavery ended, you so-called Negroes have been 12%, man. Even if you go into these cities, the population is low. Now unless you're down in the south. Right. But out here, the population for the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans is low, man. San Francisco. All right, you go to the other cities on the West Coast, it's very low, man. Keep going.
Where I will scatter them, for I knew that they would not hearken me, for I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people.
Real quick, get Deuteronomy 28:15. The Most High already knew that. All right. So when you read Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, 28:15, that's a prophecy. All right. Most High said, "Look, these curses gonna come upon you."
Yep.
Read it.
Deuteronomy 28:15. But it shall come to pass.
Yeah, but it shall come to pass. So look, this is gonna happen, man. In the future, when you forsake me, these curses are gonna come upon you. And the Most High just said He knew that y'all wasn't gonna follow. I knew y'all was gonna buck up and go off, you know. And really, to get deeper, the Most High programmed us to go off, so the prophecy would be fulfilled. All right, and so that we'd be able to thoroughly learn what evil is. But this is all the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua.
He said, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe, to do all His commandments and His statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee.
Yeah, so that was a prophecy. All right, because He could have just said, okay, look, if you don't obey me, these curses are going to come upon you. But He said, it shall come to pass. So this is going to happen. All right? That's it on that. Jump back to
Baruch 2:30. For I knew that they would not hear me.
And Most High knew that already. That's the reason why He made that statement through Moses in Deuteronomy 28:15. But it shall come to pass if thou wilt not hearken unto my voice. These curses are going to come upon you. Keep going.
Because it is a stiff-necked people.
Yeah, Jake is rebellious as hell, man. You brothers was going into it earlier. Jake is rebellious. Jake don't want nothing to do with the Heavenly Father, man. Jake literally don't want anything to do with the Heavenly Father, man. We actually had Jakes that said, told the prophets that caused the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us, man. We don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear about Yahweh, all right? We don't want to hear about the commandments, man. You waking up early in the morning screaming at us. We tired of hearing this, man. Hey, man, somebody kill this dude, man. I'm tired of hearing that. I want to live my life, man. I want to live good. I got gold. I got silver. I got concubines. I got wives. I got cattle. I'm living good, man. I ain't trying to hear this madness that you talk about. Then he talk about the Babylonians going to come and kill us, man. Some nation from far going to come and kill us and put us in captivity, man. This dude out of his mind. What the hell he talking about? Ain't nothing going to happen, man. So kill this dude. That's Jake. Right? And unto this day, Jake still has that mindset, man. You don't want nothing to do with Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. It's the reason why you continue on the lifestyle that you have when you come across the word, man. You don't want to put pork down. You don't want to leave a shrimp alone. Oh, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, it's almost like a sin for you to eat lamb, man. Yeah. You got force feed a nigga lamb, man.
They look at you like you a weirdo. You know? But if you got a big ass pork chop sandwich, they'll ask for a bite. You know?
Keep going.
But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves.
Yeah, the land of their captivity, they shall remember themselves. Why? Because we forgot who we were. This devil beat our nationality out of us. Then not only that, he made it, pretty much to where the slaves wouldn't want to speak their language, wouldn't want to, recite their history aloud. So he knew that they would do it behind closed doors. So what did he do? He split the families up, man. He sent the son to this plantation, the daughter went to this plantation. All right? The mom went to this plantation, the dad went to this plantation. So you sitting over there grieving for your children and your family that was just split up. You ain't gonna go through the history of your people, man. Then he put you in the field.
You ain't got no time.
Yep.
You're working. They working playing. Mosai wasn't playing. He had Esau work you niggas, man. Get early in the morning, you working before the crack of dawn. Then you so deadbeat tired, you just trying to go. All you can do is go to sleep, eat a little bit of food, some mush, and go to sleep, man. And cry yourself to sleep.
Yep. Yeah. It only takes a few generations for that history to disappear completely, man. Yeah. So if your parents ain't telling you, the next person ain't gonna tell you. Keep going.
And shall know that I am the Lord their power, for I give them an heart and ears to hear.
Yeah, the Most High woke us up. Brothers is going into that Revelation 11 chapter. The Spirit of the Heavenly Father entered into us. It woke us up. He gave us a mind to understand and ears to hear, ears to hearken unto His words, man. Because Jake ain't listening to this, man. And I say listen, I mean actually like taking time to understand and listen to what we actually saying, man. Jake is just hearing on the surface level. Then he looking for something to get offended at so he can walk down the street. You know? The Spirit got to be dealing with you to sit down and actually hearken unto the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah. And the Most High has given us that. That's it on that?
According to Isaiah the 6th chapter, they can't see and they can't hear.
That's right.
You know? Watch one more verse. And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity.
And that's what we doing. How do we open up a camp? Call Allah Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. Bashem Kadash. We praising the Heavenly Father in the land of our captivity, man. Something that you elites and you Edomites never thought would happen, man. You did a thorough job in trying to wipe our nationality away from us, wipe away the names of the Heavenly Father and His Son, man. You really didn't want us calling upon the name of the Son. That's the mediator, man. So you went through all this time, put all this time and effort into trying to wipe this away from you. Put the false image of Cesare Borgia up. Told us his name was Jesus. You know, you still got Jake's calling on him unto this day, man. It's like, yeah, I got him. They never gonna wake up. But the Spirit enters us. Now we woken up, man, according to the prophecies. Keep going.
And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity and think upon my name.
That's what we're doing. We're thinking upon the names of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. With those names comes the doctrine. Yeah. All right? The ways of those entities, man. The ways those entities want you to behave yourself down here on the earth. All right? Not be a dirtbag, so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American, man. Elevate from this black culture, man. This Mexican culture that's out here that was given to you by your oppressor. All right? That's it.
I love it, Lord. And remember, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which stands before the Lord.
Yeah, what happened to our forefathers? They got destroyed. We don't want to be destroyed, man. We want to serve Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. We looking for salvation, so we trying to do the right thing, man. And we out here doing the right thing, listening to the commandments of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. One of those commandments is to get out on the highways and hedges, man. You gotta come out on the street. Another one of those commandments is that you gotta break the doctrine down properly, man. You can't be lying to Israel. Talking about the mark of the beast, ain't the RFID microchip. You out of your mind, man. You ain't obeying the voice of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Psalms chapter 106, verse 40. Therefore was the wrath of the Lord kindled against his people, and so much that he abhorred his own inheritance, and he gave them into the hands of the heathen. And they that hated them ruled over them. Their enemies also oppressed them, and they were brought into subjection under their hands. Many times did he deliver them, but they provoked him with their counsel and were brought low for their iniquity.
It was just going into the book of Judges. Jake was just completely going off over and over again. Most High deliver us. Jake start worshiping other gods. Most High deliver us again. Jake start worshiping other gods. Most High got tired of it, man. He said, look, go have them gods deliver you.
Nevertheless, he regarded their afflictions when he heard their cry. And he remembered them. It says, and he remembered for them his covenant.
That's right.
It says, and repented according to the multitude. multitude of his mercies, he made them also to be pity of all those that cried, of all those that carried them captives. Save us, O Lord. Save us, O Lord, our power, and gather us from among the heathen to give thanks unto thy holy name.
That's exactly what the Most High is going to do. Read it again.
Save us, O Lord, our power, and gather us from among the heathen to give thanks unto thy holy name.
That's right.
And to triumph in thy praise. Blessed be the Lord, Yahweh Shema of Israel, from everlasting to everlasting. And let all the people say, so it be true, praise ye the Lord.
Give Baruch 4:21, Baba Shah.
Baruch 4:21. Baruch 4:21. Be of good cheer, O my children. Cry unto the Lord, and he shall deliver you from the power and hand of the enemy. Be of good cheer, be of good cheer, O my children.
Yeah, we're supposed to be of good cheer. We ain't supposed to be down and depressed in this society. Keep going.
Cry unto the Lord, and he shall deliver you from the power and hand of the enemy.
And that's what you see going on. Cry unto the Lord, and the Most High is going to deliver you from the power of your enemy. You can see the Most High bringing this man down. All right? What do we read in Psalms? Read that part again. Last little part.
Psalms 106.
Yeah.
This is Psalms chapter 106, verse 47. Save us, O Lord, our power, and gather us from among the heathen. Psalms 106 and 44. Psalm 106 and 44.
And this is why the least is scared, man. That's why when you read in Revelation 11 chapter, it said great fear fell upon them which saw them. You know?
Nevertheless, he regarded their affliction.
He's regarding our affliction. We crying to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. We're crying unto him about all the oppression that's going on down here, all the wickedness that's going on down here. And he's hearing it, man. And he's hearkening unto it. Keep going.
When he heard their cry, and he remembered for them his covenant.
And he remembered for them his covenant. The Most High is remembering his covenant with us now. That's the reason why you got this opioid epidemic going on, and it's mainly affecting you so-called white people, man. That's judgment from the Heavenly Father. Why? Because of the atrocity that you committed on the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, and this opioid epidemic came out of nowhere, man. It really just sparked up a few years ago. And this word has been going out since around 2007, 2008, 2009, man. And the Most High has been hearing the cry of the prophets. He's been hearing the cry of the nation of Israel. He's bringing judgment on you people, man. Just like he brought judgment upon the Egyptians. Same things happen.
And repented according to the multitude of his mercies. He made them also to be pity of all those that carried them captives. Save us, O Lord, our power, and gather us from among the heathen. Save us, says, he made them also to be pity of all those that carried them captives. Save us, O Lord, our power, and gather us from among the heathen, to give thanks unto thy holy name, and to triumph in thy praise.
That's what's going on now. You know, start up a little bit.
Psalms 106 and 44. Nevertheless, he regarded their afflictions when he heard their cry.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing now. You know, we cry every time. That's what always happens in the scriptures. You know, every time our people, they'll go off, they'll be getting punished, they'll be put into captivity, and then what? They would turn back to the Lord and cry and sigh and cry back, crying to the Lord, and he would hear their prayers and their cries, and he would deliver them. And that's what's going to happen this time again. The Lord is here. He hears us when we sigh and cry. All right? The Lord, he's not going to suffer us to continue to be here longer. That's why you see this stuff going on.
It says, and he remembered for them his covenant, and repented performs it according to the multitude of his mercies.
Yeah, the Lord remembered his covenant. All right, what did he promise our people? You know, basically the kingdom. All right, so that's why it's still going to be a remnant left. Because the Lord could have done away with all of our people from going off, yet what? He was sticking to his word. All right, the promise he made going back to Abraham, man. He's a man of his word. He's still sticking to that. That's why you still had a remnant, which is the elect, that's going to be preserved this time from the destruction that's coming.
He made them also to be pitied of all those that carried them captives. Save us, O Lord, our power, and gather us from among the heathen to give thanks unto thy holy name and to triumph in thy praise. Blessed be the Lord, Yahweh Shah of Israel, from everlasting to everlasting, and let all the people say, so it be true, praise ye the Lord.
Rock 35 and 16. He that serveth the Lord shall be accepted with favor, and his prayer shall reach unto the clouds.
Yeah, that's what happens with us. That's why you should be praying, you know. And the Lord, if you actually have faith and believe, the Lord answers your prayer. If you're doing what you need to do and everything, all right. And then if you in good standing with Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you have favor. You know, I forgot the scripture. I believe it's in Proverbs. When a man's ways please the Lord, even his enemies be at peace with him, because you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, man.
Prayer of the humble pierces the clouds. Until they come nigh, he will not be comforted, and will not depart until the Most High shall behold to judge righteously and execute judgment.
Yeah, that's what we wait on for Yahweh Shem Yahushai to execute judgment.
Psalms chapter 91, verse 14. Because he hath set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name.
And that's the main thing, is knowing the name of the Heavenly Father, all right, and His Son, all right, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, because that's going to be helping us get delivered out of here, man. Knowing the name of our power. If you don't know that, then who are you going to call upon? All right, because if you're calling upon all the other names that are out there,